Okay, so for the second part of this this lesson, we're going to look at some advertising techniques from the real world of advertising. And as we go through, I mean, in lesson time, we'd do a discussion on this, and I get you to sort of think about what different techniques you can find. What's more likely to happen now is I'll just talk you through them. First one I wanted to look at was I think this is one of my favourite slogans of all time. I think it's a really clever slogan, and it's you'll see it on a lot of Tesco's delivery lorries. Now, just just looking at it as it appears there, I'll go through this in detail in a second. Hopefully, from the list of persuasive techniques that we looked at earlier, hopefully you should be able to see quite a few in there. So just have a quick, just sort of 10-20 seconds just to have a look at it and see which persuasive techniques you can identify. So this is a list of them. The main thing about this is that it uses a pun. So there's a really famous expression, "shop till you drop." And what Tesco's have done is they've taken that expression and they've turned that into a slogan. So "you shop, we drop." So that's this part. This is the use of puns and wordplay. The other thing that it does that's part of the persuasive techniques is this. So the use of rhyme, shop and drop. You shop, we drop. As per the examples we looked at earlier, we've got this the use of second person here, you. I think the other quite clever thing that this does is it links you and we. So you shop, we drop. So you've got the sense there that there's a connection between Tesco and the customer. So, as a slogan, "you shop, we drop," I think that works on its own. They've also got a sort of second part to the advertisement here: shopping delivered to your door by www.tesco.com. So you could say that's this part is brief. It's got a brand summary. We're going to deliver to your door. Again, that use of second person there. Use of present tense throughout the advert. I think the other thing. It's quite subtle, but if you try and count the number of times Tesco appears on this advertisement, on this lorry, initially you think, well, it's only really on there once because it says Tesco.com there. However, you'll also see it Tesco there, Tesco there. You'll see it on this. No, it's a bit difficult to see it here, but you'll see it on this package inside the bag, and then you'll also see it in the lorry. So there's this real sense of repetition of the brand name, just to kind of reinforce that this is Tesco. The other, I guess, sort of going away from persuasive language features is just the use of blue and red and white, and that's something that's always been associated with Tesco's. And there's a link there to the colours of the Union Jack as well. So really clever piece of advertising. You could say that this is it's above the line advertising because this is a lorry that travels the length and breadth of the country. And they're using their own lorries as a really sort of cheap way of advertising their own brand. So for me, that's a really, really good example of lots of those persuasive language features we looked at earlier. You've got use of humour there. You've got use of wordplay. All sorts of different things going on there. Just a few other examples. The next one, I think this one's quite useful just because it again it uses lots of persuasive language features. The first one is the use of the second person throughout. So we had you like burgers, so we put burgers in your burger, have it your way. So there's plenty of usage of the second person there. You'll notice as well that similar to the Tesco's one, we've got we and you, and then we've got we and your. So there's a link between Burger King, this huge multinational corporation, that's trying to become like there's this intimate connection between you and them. Obviously, burgers is repeated there. We heard you like burgers. We put burgers in your burger, and then you've got Burger King down there. So there's plenty of repetition in it. And then this is their slogan: "Have it your way." Again, the use of the second person. We've got present tense there as well. So quite an effective advertisement from Burger King. Next one I want to look at is innocent. Again, you can see lots of different language features there. The first one is the use of repetition, never sweetened, never concentrated. So that's really effective. You've got the brand itself, so we've got innocent here and we've got innocent there, so that's repetition of brand name. We've also got repetition of the word juice. We've got juice, juicy, and juice. So that's just to kind of drive home what this product actually is. And then innocent orange juice, juicy by nature. So again, an effective advert that uses this one doesn't speak to the audience. It doesn't. There's no use of the second person there. There's no you in it. But I think the use of repetition. Innocent has always been about the simplicity of its message. It's always about the fact that this is juice and nothing else. And that's why they tend to keep their advertisements quite, I suppose, ostensibly simple. The other thing that they do is they use this sans serif typeface, and they don't really use capital letters. I know you've got a capital letter there and a capital letter there, but in this one you'll see that everything is lowercase, and it links with the lowercase on the bottle itself. So there's a real sense of a kind of simplicity of message and concision of language. Just look at a couple more. I guess these ones are a little bit more controversial, the two that we'll look at next. The first one is this. You've probably seen this appear on a lot of, I don't know, online casino betting forums. So this one is it's like the government message. I think they legally have to show this on their advertisements. So, and they'll show it at the end of the ad. So when the fun stops, stop, and then you've got gambleaware.co.uk underneath it. This is a use of an imperative, so it's a command. So you've got this stop, stop. One of the things that's been pointed out about this is that obviously the biggest word in terms of the size of the font in the whole advert is fun, and fun has been written in this sort of Broadway font that seems to suggest it's quite it's exciting, it's enjoyable. So although there is a message here, when the fun stops, stop, if you only show this very briefly at the end of an advert, the consumer is mainly going to be left with the word fun. So yes, it's sort of put there because it's a government decree that you have to have it on at the end of an advert. However, I think the message behind it is fun. You could also look at, if you're looking at persuasive language features, you could, I've mentioned the imperative, but you've also got repetition of stops and stop. So it does use features, but this is quite a good example of how language features, the actual language itself, combines with the font and the way in which aesthetically it's presented, and you've got this real emphasis on the word fun, which is obviously quite nefarious. Final one we'll look at. This is, I think this appeared 2 or 3 years ago, and it was used in on a lot of underground platforms, and it was a huge billboard. It uses a lot of persuasive language features. Just to go through a few of them. First of all, we've got the word you, again, which is use of second person, direct address. The next part is beach body, and beach body is an example of alliteration. I don't think we haven't really seen any examples of alliteration yet. You can maybe look at the Burger King one and say, burger, burger, burger is alliterative. You could look at the innocent one with, what was it? It was never sweetened, never concentrated. So you could look at this one as well. Innocent orange juice, juicy by nature. You've got alliteration there on the J's. This one though is really driving home that B. It's called a plosive, that type of word form, because your mouth seems to explode when you say it. So beach body, and it really kind of emphasizes the importance that this company places on the idea of a beach body. So some physical perfection for which you have to strive. And the other thing that's we haven't really mentioned yet, this is probably something that you looked at when you looked at persuasive language features in English. I don't know if you ever did lad forest or daft forest, but that R is for a rhetorical question. Are you beach body ready? That question mark at the end. You're not going to stand there looking at the advert on the tube and go, I don't know, am I? Yeah, I think so. I don't know. You're not being asked for a response to this. But it's very sort of provocative way of getting you to think about your own body, your own physicality, and the world in which we're living, with a lot being spoken about with body shaming and body image. This advert was I think it was banned quite quickly. The other thing, in terms of what the advert actually looks like, obviously with the model standing right in the middle of it, sort of scantily clad, it was quite her body language was considered to be very, very provocative and very, very sexualized. And by provocative, not only sexually provocative, but also almost kind of threatening in a sense. So this advert was, it generated huge numbers of complaints, and I believe it was pulled quite quickly from advertising. Plus the message itself isn't particularly pleasant. You can see it. I think you can just about see it here. Substituting 2 daily meals of an energy restricted diet with a meal replacement contributes to weight loss. So they're actually sort of, encouraging a not particularly healthy diet. So yeah, lots wrong with this advert. You can also see they've got a slogan at the top here, protein world, pure performance. Again, I was talking about the alliteration here with beach body, but that's another form of alliteration there with the P. Again, it's a plosive, so pure performance, and it links with protein. So if you take protein, your performance will be pure. So those P's kind of all link together. So there you go. I think it was really interesting looking at advertising. It's called advertising copy. Now, advertising copy is the way in which adverts are written. If the tube's ever open again and you get a chance to sit on a tube one day, have a look at the adverts and just have a look at the copy that's written in them. And they're written in an almost ungrammatical way. But they don't tend to use commas and full stops and semicolons and colons in the right place. They'll start sentences with but and, which you're not really supposed to. But they're very, very persuasive, and they serve this advertising purpose. So it's something to look out for in advertising. And these features that we've looked at in this lesson, these persuasive language features, you'll find them repeated across loads and loads of different adverts. My 15 minutes is almost at an end with this screencasting. We have a 15-minute maximum, so I'm just going to go on to the last slide now, which is basically you do what I've just done. So I would like you to find one print ad, one social media ad, and one video ad, and try and find each one from a different brand or company. And then using the infographic, that's the one I went through. This is the infographic, all of these slides. I'll send that out as an insight link as well. Using the infographic, annotate as many techniques that you can see to different ads, write a bit about the effect of each technique. How does it make you feel? Or like this one, it makes me feel inferior, it makes me feel sort of not worthy. Tesco's, it makes me feel like I'm part of this company. There's a real sort of sense of intimacy there. So yeah, actually, if I go back to that one, if you can set it out a little bit like this, take screenshots, annotate it, and then post those into your blogs. Okay. So one print ad, one social media ad, and one video advert, and see what different techniques you can find. All right. Good luck.